What's up? My name's Aaron Trimble with Darklight Productions. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make music in the style of the retro 90s game Megaman. If you're a nerd like me, then you probably have a favorite theme from the game, and if you're a musician, you might even be curious how to get that sound. We'll be using a piece of music that I wrote as a reference to make these sounds, not one from the original game, just one that sounds like them. All you need is a basic synthesizer with a noise generator and an oscillator. You also might want an EQ, delay, and a reverb for carving out the sounds. Now, these techniques aren't necessarily the quote correct approach, but you will get that Megaman sound pretty accurately. This video is going to focus on the percussion of that sort of music and not the synth lines, the melody, and the arrangement. That'll be in a later video. You will also want a basic understanding of how a synthesizer works, and I recommend either one of the many videos that are on YouTube or getting a program like this one. This is called Syntorial, and you can learn how every single knob and button on this program works, and that you would also see in a basic synthesizer like an oscillator, an LFO, even delay and reverb. I'll provide a link for that below if you're interested in that. So let's listen to, yes, we're going to quit that. We're going to listen to just the beginning of this piece. You can hear the percussion just soloed here. You don't need to listen to the whole piece. If you are interested in listening to it, I'll have a SoundCloud link. But if you listen to that percussion, scroll back in the video if you like, you can tell it's not a normal drum kit. Well, all those sounds are coming from a synthesizer. That's how they got those sounds. There's simple sound technology back in the 90s and earlier, so it makes sense that they'd just be using something like a synthesizer. So I'm going to open up the one I'm using, which is massive, but you don't need something as dense as massive. And we're actually going to start with we're going to look at three elements. There's a sort of a high snare sound, a low snare sound, and the toms. And then there's a kick, but those are exactly like the toms. So I'm not really going to worry about that. Wow. Okay. There we go. Okay. As soon as Massive opens, you'll see that the only thing that's being used is a noise generator. No oscillators, no inserts, just the noise generator. When you start your noise generator, whatever synthesizer you're working with, then it will probably sound like this. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for white noise. Okay, what we're going to do is apply the first portion of an envelope to the amplifier, and we need a short attack and a medium decay. And that's going to sound like a percussive instrument that rings out like a snare. That's what it's trying to emulate as a snare. Okay? So right now I have a very short attack, almost instant, and a relative decay. And the level or sustain is all the way down because I don't want that portion or the release portion of the envelope. If I adjust the decay up, make it slower, it doesn't, it's a little too long, sounds like an ocean, and too much like the original noise sound. If it's too short, it kind of just sounds like a click, which might work for a hi-hat. but we want a snare sound. Like that, maybe a little longer. There we go. Okay, and that's it. A noise generator with the attack and decay modifying the amplitude, and nothing else done to the sound. Okay, let's look at the low snare sound, what I'm calling a low snare sound. You might think of it in different terms, but it's what's hitting on the other beats and upbeats of it. Again, there's just a noise generator and the one moment. And the envelope, the attack and decay are exactly the same, and they're affecting the amplitude. But I'm going to roll off a little bit of the high end to get a lower timbre, a lower sound. Okay, and what I'm doing is using an EQ and rolling off everything above about 2000 hertz or 2K hertz. So you'll either need a low-pass filter or a high-cut filter of some kind. Massive actually comes with one, but I wanted to show you that you can just apply an EQ and get that same sound. So without, nope, not yet. Sorry, my computer's running so slowly. Please bypass. Okay, without and then with. Without and with. Okay. You can see how that works. It doesn't take any complex knowledge of how an EQ works. Okay. So now we have both those percussion sounds. We're going to look at one more, which are the toms. This one's quite different. Let's look at this one. Okay. One more time with massive. This time I'm going to use a single oscillator, not the noise generator. The envelope is basically the same, that's affecting the amplitude, but I'm also going to have one that affects the oscillator so that the pitch changes. Here's what it will sound like without. Okay. If I don't have the envelope affecting the amplitude either, then you have a square waveform in your oscillator. And that's what it sounds like. If I turn off the reverb, it's not necessary. Turn on the reverb. Okay, that's just effect. So, turning this back on, the same envelope that we used on the other sounds for the amplitude. Okay. Okay, that gives us the envelope we want. Now, what we're going to do is apply an envelope to the oscillator, and you can do that how it fits your synthesizer. And it actually looks quite the same. And that's what you're going for, is a short attack that raises the pitch quickly in a fairly unnoticeable way, and then drops it slowly like you're hitting a tom. Okay? And then if you'll hit different notes on your controller descending, it'll sound like you're hitting rack toms and floor toms. And you can even go really low and sound like a kick. Kind of a pitched kick. And that's all there is to it. Again, this one's a little different. It's an oscillator with a square waveform. The envelope is affecting, one envelope is affecting the oscillator to go up in pitch quickly and then moderately down. And we're not using the level or sustain and release stages. And then the same envelope we used on all the other sounds on the amplifier. I hope this helped you figure out the percussion that you're looking for that sound. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I welcome any feedback. I just want to help you get these sounds and get better at sound design. Please share, like, and subscribe if you like the videos. And again, let me know if there's any way I can help. And look out for other videos. See ya.